The film begins with Ryan's arrival in Spain. He is waiting at the airport to meet his friend Jack, who is supposed to take him to his house. Ryan knows only Jack in Spain, but when Jack informs him that he can't come to the airport due to work commitments, a driver arrives to pick him up. Ryan reaches Jack's house and is amazed by its beauty and luxury. That night, Jack returns home and meets Ryan. He tells Ryan that they haven't seen each other in 12 years, and he feels lonely. Ryan asks how Jack managed to buy such an expensive house. Jack explains that the house belongs to his agency, and the agency moves him to a new house every week. Ryan is astonished by the incredible perks of Jack's job and asks him if the agency needs an extra chef. Jack replies sadly, telling Ryan that his job isn't as ideal as he thinks, and asks him not to consider joining the agency because they make strange requests that no one could ever imagine. The next day, Jack and Ryan go to a cafe and meet a girl named Alice. Alice says she quit her job and decided to spend all the money she saved to travel around the world. She realizes that Ryan and Jack are skilled chefs and suggests they cook for her to see which one is the better cook. The three of them go to Jack's house, and Alice asks them to make Italian food. After they finish cooking and tasting the dishes, Alice closes her eyes and tastes both meals. She praises both dishes but ultimately prefers Ryan's food. The next day, Ryan receives a threatening message from someone in the US demanding that he repay the money he owes, or else they will destroy him. It turns out that Ryan fled the US because of his debts, but he decides to ignore the message. The next morning, Ryan asks Jack about Alice, and Jack explains that she has returned home. Meanwhile, Jack suddenly receives a work call and informs Ryan that he won't be back until evening. Taking advantage of Jack's absence, Ryan decides to check his bank account. He is shocked to discover that Jack has over $1,700,000 in his account. That night, Jack returns home looking very upset. He drinks with Ryan, and Ryan asks him why he's so distressed. Jack tells him that he is under a lot of pressure from work and feels like he has accomplished nothing in life. He shares that he's getting older but hasn't married or had children yet, which makes him feel unfulfilled. Jack thanks Ryan for coming to Spain, saying that seeing him has made a big impact on his life. The next day, Ryan wakes up to find that Jack has committed suicide. Unable to call the police, Ryan decides to hide Jack's body and assumes Jack's identity. His first step is to contact Jack's bank and claim that he has forgotten the PIN for his credit card. However, the bank employee tells him that they need to verify his identity through personal security questions. Ryan fails to answer the questions correctly and pretends to have temporary memory loss. The bank employee apologizes and ends the call. Later that day, Ryan receives another threatening message from the person he owes money to. This time, the individual threatens to kill Ryan's mother if he doesn't pay the owed amount. Ryan pleads for one more week and promises to pay more than the original amount demanded. At night, Ryan throws Jack's body into the sea to prevent the police from discovering it. The next day, Ryan is surprised by the arrival of two employees from the agency Jack worked for. These two, Imo and Maurice, mistakenly believe that Ryan is Jack. Imo tells Ryan that he has heard a lot about him and is very excited to work with him. Ryan asks Imo how much he'll be paid, and Imo promises him $300,000. Ryan then asks Imo for an advance payment, saying he needs $50,000 to settle a debt. Imo asks Ryan if he has chosen the type of meat he plans to cook for the clients. Ryan is puzzled by the question since he hasn't made any choice. Imo becomes angry and tells him that 5 important individuals are coming to taste his meat. He explains that these clients pay millions of dollars for the event. Imo then takes Ryan to a location in the middle of the city and asks him to choose a healthy, drug-free human, as the meat must be high quality, healthy, and delicious. Ryan finally realizes that the agency Jack worked for is involved in the human meat trade. He understands the reason behind Jack's suicide but feels like he has no other choice. He knows he must follow the agency's orders, or he might be killed or even become food for the agency's clients himself. That night, Ryan returns home and reflects on the critical situation he is trapped in. He considers escaping, but suddenly Imo shows up. Ryan lies to him, saying that he wanted to take a walk because he couldn't sleep. Imo explains that the agency kills no more than 75 people per year but earns over $100 million from clients who desire human meat. He adds that the agency donates 10% of its profits to charitable communities. The next day, Maurice wakes Ryan up early to help select a suitable victim for the event. Ryan and Maurice go to the city center to find a victim. They encounter a man named Jose, who asks if they need help. Maurice decides that Jose will be the victim and tells him that his car has broken down, asking for his assistance. While Jose is repairing the car, Maurice silently kills him with a gun and then takes his body to a kitchen located beneath Jack's house. Imo instructs Ryan to butcher Jose's body and prepare the meat for that evening's dinner. After finishing the task, Ryan goes to the bathroom to wash the blood off his body. It seems that Ryan is deeply affected by what he has done and is planning to escape again. However, Maurice suddenly appears and realizes that Ryan is thinking of fleeing. Maurice warns him that if he has such thoughts again, the agency will kill him. Maurice tells Ryan that he has been working for the agency for 5 years and enjoys the job because he makes a lot of money and travels to many countries. Ryan asks Maurice if anyone has ever managed to leave the agency without harm. Maurice says that a chef named GRA managed to leave the agency because he proved his worth in his work, but he doesn't know what happened to him afterward. Ryan feels that there is still hope for escape and decides to continue normally until he can find a way out. Imo begins preparing the main dishes for the clients and then welcomes them, assuring them that they will greatly enjoy the dinner. 2 police officers, one named Johnson and the other Gabriel, enter the house and ask Imo about the disappearance of his nephew, Jose, who has been missing since the morning. They want to speak with Maurice, who was with Ryan at the time of Jose's disappearance. Ryan feels uneasy upon seeing the police officers, but tries to control his stress. Officer Gabriel shows Ryan a photo of Jose, but Ryan doesn't recognize him and says he hasn't seen Jose. Imo informs the clients that the police are at the house and asks them to introduce themselves as investors. Gabriel feels something suspicious as he has recently noticed the strange disappearance of several young residents of the town. He meets with the clients, shows them a photo of his nephew, and asks if they recognize him. The clients refuse to answer his questions, and Gabriel becomes frustrated and discouraged, deciding to leave. However, one of the clients suggests having dinner with them to distract Gabriel and prevent him from suspecting anything. Ryan begins serving the food, and it seems that everyone is impressed by the taste of Jose's meat, especially Gabriel, who says he has never tasted such high-quality meat before. Later, Alice arrives at the house and asks Ryan about Jack, but Ryan takes her to the kitchen. Alice is shocked when she sees Ryan cooking blood and asks him about the type of food he is preparing for the guests. Ryan asks her to stop asking questions as he is unable to answer. Alice feels that something is wrong and decides to leave the house immediately, but her car suddenly breaks down. Maurice offers to give her a ride home. Ryan asks Imo how Chef GRA was able to leave the agency without harm. Imo replies that they killed him, but many of the agency staff believe GRA managed to escape. Officer Gabriel, who is enjoying the taste of the meat, asks Ryan what type of meat it is. Ryan tells him it's pork, but Gabriel is surprised because the taste is completely different from pork. Ryan goes to the kitchen to prepare the last dish, which is Jose's tongue. He realizes that the tongue has gone bad, which presents a problem since the guests are waiting for this dish. Imo comes up with a solution and decides to eliminate Alice, serving her tongue instead of the spoiled one from Jose. Ryan serves the final dish, which contains Alice's tongue, to the guests and leaves a message for Gabriel, asking him to meet him in the restroom. In the restroom, Ryan explains everything about the agency and what happened to his nephew, Jose, to Gabriel. After realizing he has eaten his nephew's meat, Gabriel becomes nauseous. He exits the restroom, thanks the guests, and then heads to the kitchen with Ryan. He sees the evidence of the crime and is shocked, deciding to call the police. However, he remembers that he forgot his phone. Ryan leaves the kitchen to get Gabriel's phone, while Morris enters and kills Gabriel. Ryan returns to the kitchen and finds Morris with Gabriel's body, pretending he had no idea Gabriel was there, and starts helping Morris clean up the crime scene. The next day, Ryan wakes up, still shocked by the events of the previous night. He sits with Imo and Morris, who continue praising the taste of Ryan's dishes from last night and tell him that the agency is pleased with his work. Morris then attaches a tracking device to Ryan's neck so that he can easily locate him. Ryan decides to spend his vacation in London and heads to the airport. It is clear that he is shocked by the events that have occurred, but he realizes that he will be at the agency's disposal for the rest of his life. He only has two options: continue working with the agency or commit suicide like his friend Jack.